Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
You're watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and it is Sunday, 6 a.m. in California, and I've woken up to interview my friends in China to share their side of Corona with you. And my guests are Dr. Dora Dong and her husband, David Dong. David and Dora, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. It's evening, right?
Yeah, you're welcome.
To share, Corona with us. This invisible little monster is certainly affecting lives around the world, which is why I thought it would be a good idea to speak with people in different countries and share what it's been like for them dealing with the Corona. And since it started in China, I'm wondering why I didn't interview you guys first.
Okay. Since the outbreak of coronavirus, our life has changed a lot.
I bet.
The coronavirus just outbroke before our Chinese New Year. The Spring Festival, is the most important festival in China.
Right.
In the past, we celebrate the New Year. People went back to their hometowns to see the elders, to see their old friends, and celebrate the New Year together. Or have a travel with the whole family. But this New Year, most of us stay home.
Because of the virus, yes.
Our family doesn't go anywhere during the Chinese New Year, and we stay home in Shanghai.
Did you celebrate at home with your family?
Yes, we cooked ourselves.
How big? How large?
Like right now in US, everybody is a chef. Everybody cooks stuff. Everybody shows their talents in cooking. It's the same thing. We were doing that 2 months ago. We were cooking different stuff, different recipes. Since we have nowhere to go, we have to stay home.
Yes, during your crisis, I used to think how awful it was for you all that you had to be on lockdown. And I used to think, gosh, it never dawned on me that we would be going through the same thing. And
I know.
I live alone, and I've lived alone for many, many, many years. So for me, it just feels like I'm just not going out as much as I used to. But there's so many people who never spent this much time at home. And not only are they being forced to stay at home, but they have to be at home with lots of people in some cases. Were you in quarantine alone, the two of you, or were you with is your family a large one?
No, us two and our daughter. She's 4 years old, so just three of us. My parents is in Beijing, and her mom is in Suzhou. So we are separated. We didn't stay together.
Good. So I'm happy that you were able to, you weren't a 12 people in one house situation.
No, plus our room is not that big enough.
Okay, because I would imagine that would be difficult. So what was the hardest thing for you during the quarantine?
The hardest thing, in the past days, we often go to the malls, the supermarkets for shopping. But during this specific time, we often we can't go out, and we buy things online, such as Taobao, Jingdong, just like Amazon in your country.
Oh, okay. Is it Alibaba? What's it called?
We have Alibaba. Yeah.
Yes.
Alibaba. We do grocery shoppings on it, just like Amazon in US.
You did not have any grocery stores open at all?
Oh, well, they are open. They
Oh,
are open, but the government strongly recommend you stay home. So if you have to go out, you only one person can go out with a pass, then to go shopping, then hurry back, you know. But for us, we do all the grocery shoppings online. So they have a food
okay.
delivery guy to the gate. Then I go pick it up at the gate. So it's easier for me
Got
because for me, I don't want risk to get infected in the supermarket also. So I just do all the grocery shopping online.
If we go out, we wear a mask.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
very, very similar arrangement here in the United States. So
Yeah,
Dora, you and I have met when I was in China. David, what do you do in China? Are you also a doctor?
No, I'm not. I'm a quality manager. Quality
Oh,
control. Yeah.
okay. How did it affect how was your business?
Well, I was lucky. You know, I can work from home even right now. But a lot of my friends, or you know, they just couldn't work from home, and so it's very tough on people here. Like a lot of people, they're out of employment. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing happening in the US right now. You know, some people are lucky, they can work from home, like you're a journalist, so you can work from home online and stuff. But there are a lot of people, factory workers, they are laid off because they're you know, they couldn't work from home for that time of period.
Like us doctors can't work home.
Yeah, like her. She
Well,
could not work
especially in
from
your
home.
case, you're a plastic surgeon. You certainly couldn't operate unless you're operating on David.
No, I'm out of I'm beyond repair, so
Oh,
she doesn't.
stop. From where I sit, I don't see you need any alterations at all, especially not repairs. So, Dora, you work in a plastic surgery hospital. That's where I met you when I went there to do some interviews. What's the hospital like now that that your quarantine is over and you're back at work?
I am back to work for more than 1 month. But there are less surgeries than before.
The business is slower. Yes.
Oh, it's a lot slower than it was.
Yes.
Well, of course, people are afraid. I mean, how vain must you be in the middle of a crisis? You prioritize plastic surgery. I would imagine everyone is waiting until it's completely safe. But I don't know, do you think there'll ever be a time where we'll be like rid of this or have control of it when it continues to mutate? What do you think, Dora?
你觉得会控制住吗？这个病毒，还是它病毒会继续发展下去？
In China now the virus is under control. A few days ago in April, many places reopened, like the malls, the parks. A few days ago, I brought my daughter to a park to have a walk and play, and he was very excited. She was very excited because she has been kept in home for more than 2 months.
My goodness, you did not take her out at all for 2 months?
Oh well, she walked around the house. I mean, she in the residential area inside the gate, but she didn't go out at all.
Oh, okay.
So when she took her to the park, that's the first time she went out in 2 months. She was way out of excitement. You know, she was too excited already.
She ran on the lawn and played by the side of the lake. She said, "I'm so happy."
I can imagine. So where do you both live in China? Where in China are you?
We're in Shanghai.
Shanghai.
You're in Shanghai. So how far from Shanghai is Wuhan? I'm sorry, I'm just asking because I really don't know.
Well, if you take the plane, it's about 3 hours. Also.
The plane about 2 hours.
2 hours something.
And the railway about 6 to 7 hours.
If you take train, that's 6 to 7 hours. If you take plane, that's 2 hours something. Yeah.
So you're very far away. Did you
very far?
Did you have a lot of cases, contamination and deaths in Shanghai?
Well, at the beginning, at the first, like around the January 23rd, around that time, yes, we have like 10, 20 each day. But right now, we haven't had one infection for like over a month already. So right now, our virus outbreak is from outside our borders, from outside our country. So, not locally, no.
Oh, that's great. And are they still having cases in Wuhan?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure they still have people in ICU that they're in critical conditions. They're in Wuhan, around 100 something, I think. I heard it somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that's a number. But the flight has been the airport has been open in Wuhan, and the train station has opened in Wuhan. So that's the good news. People can travel to Wuhan and out from Wuhan also.
Do you know if they have, besides Wuhan, do you know what other parts of China were affected as badly as Wuhan was?
I don't think so. 有别的地方跟武汉一样严重吗？
No.
Wuhan city is the Hubei province. I mean, it's the most serious city in that province. But other
province,
they're
not so serious.
They're okay, yeah. They're just like Shanghai, they get like 10, 20 infected, but they very soon disappear.
So everyone is claiming that it originated there. What type of city is Wuhan? Is it
Wuhan is a big city. And it was separated from the outside for 76 days, from January 23rd to April 8th.
Wow. Well, I guess that was the only way to control it, right? They had to be. So all of China now is back to normal. Everyone has been released and everyone is back at work. When you're out in the streets, are people keep practicing social distancing?
Yes, we are. We when we at work, we wear masks and we stay a foot and a half between each other. And when we eat, we take turns. We take shift. We don't eat face to face. We don't sit across to each other. We take turns. So yeah, we are practicing social distancing here too. Maybe all the way until whenever the government said it's okay. Right now we are back to work, but we are still under
Quarantine?
We're not out of the we are not out safe yet, so we are still be cautious.
So your government decides when you can return to normal. So even though you're back out, life is still not what it used to be as yet. Your government is still controlling some of what you're doing in terms of.
Well, they advise us to wear masks. That's for one. If you mean normal life is we don't wear masks, that's not normal life. But other than that, we're I would say 90% back to normal already.
David, what is the lesson you learned from this experience?
Family is important. Treasure what you have at hand right now before you lose it.
Health is important.
Yeah, health is important. You don't take things for granted. I'll put it this way.
Yes, it's true, right? And you realize how fragile life is. Did either of you lose anyone to this disease, to this virus?
No. We were lucky.
Happy to hear that. That's really wonderful.
I have a couple of coworkers from Wuhan, and they're safe too. So they're very lucky too. So
yes, when you hear the number of fatalities that you've had in China, and you speak with people and they say, "Oh, no one I know died," it's really a good feeling. Although it's still sad.
It's still sad. Yes.
Died. So one of the problems we have here in the U.S. is we often question the news we get from mainstream media. I am not knocking them, but people are concerned that we're not always being told the truth. From your knowledge, how many people actually died in China from this disease?
Well, for us, we believe the government is telling the truth because right
Not
now
your government. I'm just asking, what is the number that was reported in China of deaths?
这个我们觉得死多少？
As the government reported.
Yeah, I don't, because we are very far from Wuhan, and it's really hard for us to know exactly, how many people died from it. But I would say I trust what government say.
Oh no, I am not. I guess I'm confusing you guys. What I'm asking you is, what was in that last number you heard reported? I'm not saying that it's that the government is lying. I'm just asking, what was the last number you heard was reported as the total of deaths that your country has suffered? And if you don't know, it's okay. I just want
I don't think we know.
they didn't publish that.
Well, the last government report deaths is 3,300 around that time total.
3,300. We've had more than that. We've had
deaths.
Yeah. US, I heard US has more than that. Yes.
Yes. Do you feel like you guys were prepared to handle the cases at the beginning?
No, not the beginning, but we handle really quick after the outbreak. I mean,
Right.
if you mean the beginning, it should start from last December, not this January. You know what I mean? Because it's virus 2019, not 2020. So the actual control should be from last year. But since January, our government has been very effective on, close the city, shut down the people, then everything. So I think the government has taken very good measures on the control.
Yes, it was very impressive how they handled that. I had never heard in my lifetime of people being locked up at home or quarantined. It was the first time in my life I've ever heard of quarantine, right? And I've seen many jokes come across my desk of what people were doing during the quarantine.
It's not as bad as it was published. Trust me, it's not as bad. We're safe. We know they are doing this for our own good. That's for sure.
Well, same here in the U.S. And the problem is,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Right. And the problem is getting people to deviate from their norm to follow the laws, because they're just not used to being, locked up at home or quarantined, and they want to continue living like they used to. And the people that are taking those chances are the people that put us all at risks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because if they're not following the rules, they may not suffer from the illness, but they could spread it. And so that's what's difficult about people who aren't following the rules. Do you believe that your country was able to control the virus like you did because people listened and stayed at home? Do you feel that?
Yes.
You feel that helped to control the spread, right?
Yes, of course. Everybody is a hero. Everybody stay home, stop the virus spread. They're heroes. Yeah.
Most of us follow the government's instructions to stay at home, minimize going out. And when we go out, we must wear masks. And until today, when I go to work, I wear a mask on the metro, on the bus.
So when you get to the hospital, since you are operating on patients all day, do you have a protocol you have to follow now as you enter the hospital from the street to make sure that your patient is being protected while you operate? What's that protocol?
We staffs all wear mask all day long, and during the operation, the patient came into the hospital. We check their temperatures first, and ask if they have went to the high-risk areas the recent 14 days, and asked them if they had some symptoms such as cough, sneeze, or diarrhea, or stomachache, or headache, and we test their blood. Some persons come from the high-risk area. We do nucleic acid test. Nucleic acid test. If the test shows positive of the coronavirus, we send them to hospitals. And if they are healthy, they can do the operation.
That's great. So you make sure you test them very well before you actually proceed with the operation. So you guys have a great system that's working for you in China with this threat of the corona still floating around in the air. Do you feel like your country will have a vaccine for this virus sometime soon? Because I know they're working on one in the US. I'm sure every country is probably working on one.
I don't know about anytime soon, but we're gonna have vaccine. It's just a matter of time, maybe a year, I would say, because this takes time. It's not like you can just magically make one appear. It takes time, takes symptoms, take patience. So I would say a year probably for the vaccine to actually work on people.
Mm-hmm. David, your English is very good. Where did you learn to speak English like that?
I was in USC for my college and university. I went to Los Angeles. I was in Los Angeles actually for 14 years.
Oh, no wonder you're. I'm like, he's speaking English so well. Okay. Did you like living in the US? Yeah,
I liked it. I mainly just go there to study. Yeah, but I liked it. Yeah, it was good. It was cool. Yeah.
Okay. So what is the lesson that you learned from this experience, Dora? I asked David the same question. I wanted to know what was your takeaway from this corona experience while you were going through it in China?
In the past days, we ignore a lot of things, such as our family and our health. But during this epidemic time, I know the most important thing is health and family. And now the virus is almost controlled. We can go out free. But in Shanghai, we have a code on
Alipay. Do you know Alipay?
No.
WeChat.
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 The WeChat.
Yes.
I have.
We can get a code. There are 3 colors of the code. We register our personal informations, and it will show us green or yellow or red code. If the code is green, it means you are healthy. If the code is yellow, it means you are suspicious to be infected or come from the high-risk area, and should be isolated at home for 14 days. And during the 14 days, community workers come every day to check your temperature, ask you if you have some symptoms such as cough. After 14 days isolation, if you are diagnosed not infected with the virus, then your code will change into green, and you can go out.
That's great. So let me repeat what you said, so I make sure that I understand, and my viewers understand. On your WeChat, you have an app that you can use to test your health, and it turns different colors depending on what's happening with you.
Actually, it works like this. Especially if you have been to a high-risk area, you input your information, then they can check where you have been. If you have been to Wuhan or high risk, it's code yellow and code red. It's not code green. But if you stay in Shanghai all these days, they can check that, and it's code green. You can use this code to access to all the malls, all the workplace, and all the parks.
That is great. That's really great.
I heard Facebook, they're working on this too. This is what I heard on news. Facebook and
they're working.
And iPhone companies, they are working on this too.
This is great. Hopefully it will be out soon, because it will.
It should be. It should be. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear this. It will definitely control the spread. It will help to control.
This is gonna help a lot. This is gonna help a lot.
Have they given you guys a guesstimate of when you'll have it for your phone?
I'm sorry?
Have they given you guys a guesstimate, as in when it will be ready to be installed on your devices?
I mean, when my daughter can go to kindergarten, then it's over. But right now, it's still no news. But I'm assuming maybe June, June, it's gonna be the school gonna start for all those other kids. That means all clear. Then everybody celebrate.
I think that testing that you just mentioned, that test and application, it's great. And if we don't come up with something before then, maybe we can use that technology until we have something here, because I'm sure you're aware of what happened in Italy and what's happening in Spain.
Yeah, Europe, yeah.
Here in the US, I mean, I would never have imagined that the United States would have been hit as hard as we have, but this virus, it doesn't care who you are, what country you are. If you're in its path, it's taking you down. And so we have to protect ourselves, all of us. We have to be vigilant and take care of ourselves. I must ask you this question. When I was in Shanghai, I noticed that the air was very, very heavy. While you have been on quarantine, did you notice a difference in your air quality in Shanghai?
When I brought my daughter to the park, I feel it's very clear and fresh air.
Well, for me, I don't know. I always wear my mask, so I have no idea.
Okay, yes, because when I was there, I don't remember the name of the city, but it is in Shanghai. It's a part of Shanghai. I took a train from where the hospital is, and I went to that city. And when I got there, I could not believe how dense the air was. And the next day I was sick. And so I was wondering, that city during the quarantine, if the air was clearer and lighter, because I've noticed here in the Silicon Valley where I live, I went out a few days ago driving, and the one thing that stood out for me is how beautiful and clear the skies were. Not that we don't have a lot of, I can't think of it. For some reason, I'm blanking on it. Where the air is really heavy. We haven't really got that here, but I noticed that the air was clear and the skies were blue, and I was just admiring how beautiful it is here in the Silicon Valley. And it's something I never noticed before the quarantine, because there's so much going on, cars going, people walking. And when you are driving, you're just focused on being safe in your car. And so I was wondering if Shanghai, if the quality of the air cleared up a lot during the quarantine, and if you noticed that.
I mean, it has to, because less cars, right? Because people don't go out driving as much, so it must be. So, I personally, I don't know. Personally, I couldn't tell the difference, but it must have been.
Yes, well, because we take so much for granted, and one of the things that Corona is teaching me is to look at myself and to realize how important it is not only for us to take care of ourselves and be mindful of ourselves and our families, but also the atmosphere.
Yeah.
When it's contaminated, it affects all of us. And when we keep it clean, like we keep our surroundings clean, we can all enjoy a healthier life. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, of course, yes.
What message would you guys like to leave for my viewers from China before we wrap up? Because we're almost out of time. What would you like to leave? I mean, David, you live there in the US. What do you want to say to Americans before we
Well,
get this crisis or about anything?
you know, just be vigilant, wear a mask, don't go out, don't party, you know, just stay alive. Be safe, be safe.
Stay alive and be safe. How about you, Dora?
When going out, wear a mask, and when come back home, wash your hands.
Well, you know, you two are sitting there saying, when you go out, wear a mask. Guess what? We can't find masks to buy here. We can't find gloves. We can't find toilet paper. These things have been picked clean in our stores. I went last night to pick up some gloves. There, I couldn't find any anywhere.
We were short of masks 2 months ago, but now the mask is enough in China.
Well, it's gonna get better, you know. It's only temporary. You know, we were at your place, you know, very 2 months ago, very stage. We were panicking and we were afraid. We don't know when this is gonna be over, but just take from us, you know, we've been there. It will be over. It will be over before you know it. And just, you know, life's still pretty, very beautiful. So don't let I don't know how to say it. Just, you know, don't make disappear and I don't know what to say.
Are you trying to say discouraged?
Yeah, don't discourage. You know, just life still very much in hope. So life is good. Just hang on for, you know, 2 months or 2 months or 3 months. Then life gonna be back. We're gonna be back to normal.
How
soon.
long were you guys on quarantine for? 2 months?
Less than 2 months. Yeah.
Oh, less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm happy
During
to
that
hear
time,
that.
during that time we cooked at home every day.
You know, but when we first quarantined, we're not comfortable either. But after a while, we kind of enjoying this moment. You know, it doesn't happen often. You get this time to spend with your family. You know, if you think it this way, take this time to enjoy it with your family. You might find it surprisingly, you know, a good time you're having, instead of, you know, counting days. Why it's not over yet? What's the problem? And it's not good for your health. Just be optimistic, you know, just be happy.
To tell you the truth, I don't even realize I'm on quarantine because I am one of the lucky people. I'm doing this with you. Every day I sit here in my living room and I'm speaking to people around the world. And after the interviews, I edit the footage. And so the next thing I know, it's night. So the impact of being locked down, and I live alone. So the impact of being locked down and quarantine does not bother me as much. But I know of people that I know of people who are unhappy.
Exactly.
They have so many people in their homes. They depended on the school system to send their children to get fed, to give them a break. And these are the situations that make me sad, because there is nothing I can do to help them. And part of why I wanted to do this is by sharing people like you who, you know, when we watched the news, it sounded like you guys were, you know, suffering because of the virus. They can hear from you that's not true, that you're doing exactly what we did. A lot of people are cooking. Even though I'm busy with my show and editing,
You're still cooking, right?
And I was looking in the mirror last night going, this corona I'm wearing it on my stomach. I have to stop. It doesn't look good. So, like you say, as human beings, we are adaptable. We just have to make the best of a bad situation. And for me, it's not so bad. The bad part is losing so many lives. But I
Yeah.
think at the time where we're being forced into introspection and appreciating those things that we took for granted and just thanking God for the blessings that we have. I am so grateful to both of you for taking away from your evening to spend with me. And I'm so grateful that you shared what you shared with us. And I hope that life continues to return to normal in China. No more quarantine. And pretty soon you won't have to walk around with masks all the time.
You're welcome. I hope your situation get better soon too.
Thank you. Yes, pray for the U.S. It's we're losing too many lives, and we haven't stabilized yet. So clearly, you guys quarantined and handled it better than we did, sooner than we did. I suspect that's why we have so many cases. But like you say, it will get better. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And
All right.
thank you for watching Conversations with Jennylyn, when a conversation is all you need to be inspired.
Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.